Welcome to the KSLA Cafe. I'm Domonique Benn alongside Adria Goins. Happy New Year to everybody. This is the time, that a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions. And one of the big ones, finances, of course, but also losing weight. Everybody wants to lose weight in the beginning of the new year. And so we're going to help you. We're taking action and helping you do that.
Yeah, you're 6 days into the new year, 6 or 7 days into the new year. And you want to make sure that you're still doing those resolutions. Some of us have already quit.
So are you still working out? Probably not. No, I'm just kidding. So we're going to get you the right information to working out the right way. And I think you mentioned something earlier about when you're working out, you also have to eat right. So many of us want it to be like a magic pill that you start working out and that you're going to lose weight in a week, and that just doesn't happen. And stop getting on the scale every single day, Domonique.
Yeah, I was guilty of that for the longest time, and then I finally had to say no. I get discouraged when I get on the scale too, because a lot of times you can't really see the difference that you're making through the number on the scale. So I had to say no more of that. And I think what's the hardest for people is they do want to see that instant gratification, those instant results. And that's why a lot of people will give up sooner than later. But you've got to continue to do it and stay on track. Give yourself a realistic goal, like 6 months. If you say, I want to make a difference in the new year, say, well, let's just at least do it, don't quit for the first 6 months.
Right.
Because once you get to that and you see some results, you think, okay, I can do this a full year.
You're going to stick with it, right?
I can totally do it.
And it has so many benefits because, eating right and working out, scientific research has shown that it helps with your blood pressure, it helps with diabetes, so you can kind of stave off those things if they're not genetic, of course. But, you can do your part in making sure that you don't get those things. So
I know we have someone who is a professional, a pro at knowing his body, knowing your body, getting you in shape. In fact, he's got you sweating and crying a few times.
Yes, I tell you what, and I am going to be starting again, I promise. It was before I had my babies. TNT Body Camp, my friend Tarrant Graham here. Oh my gosh.
They call you the drill sergeant.
They call me a drill sergeant.
Why?
They call me T. I'm pretty tough when we're doing the workouts. But it's all in fun, and it's all in an effort to get you to change. Sometimes you have to do different things for your body to change, and I think sometimes my voice and the way I articulate things is a little bit different.
Are you?
I don't know what's mean because I'm always smiling when I'm doing it.
We have video. I'm just saying. Do you remember the first time I came to you?
Absolutely.
It's been a long time.
It was before Sydney was born.
No, right after. I'm sorry, right after. Yeah.
And we were in the other building. And you walked in. I said, "Oh, that's done."
And I said, "Okay, so how long is this going to take?" And and I think, like Adria said, Tarrant said, you're going to have to eat right. Drink water is very important. And at least, I was the type of person, I was like, I got to go 5 days a week in order for it to work. And he was saying, even if you came 3 days a week, in his class, you're going to see results. I promise you. I promise you, you're going to see results.
So explain to someone who may be interested in getting into the whole weight loss scenario for the new year. First off, explain what kind of classes you offer and why those classes might be good for certain people if they want to lose weight, if that's their goal.
I offer a class that's high intensity interval training. Similar to the boot camps, you're going to get a combination of strength training and cardiovascular training at the same time. It's going to drive your heart rate up. It's going to keep your heart rate up for 60 minutes. We do less breaks, more work.
Okay. And that's what leads to your body's, staying in that mode.
It gets into the target zone and you typically burn more calories. And then the benefit of the class like the one that I do is that not only you do the cardio, but you get the strength training. Cardio gives you instant gratification as far as instant burn. The strength training tends to keep the muscles working after you leave the gym. And that's when you get the true benefit of what you want as far as working out.
When you're doubled over in pain.
Absolutely, that soreness.
Day, walking,
absolutely.
Like this.
You really start to look chiseled, when I took his class. I mean, really you do. Let me see. I mean, there's so much to talk about this class.
There is.
We did, the weight weight loss program that we did with KSLA here, where we had 12 people come. And I took 12 people over to TNT, and they absolutely loved it. Are you still running the mile?
I am. We run the miles. Typically in the winter, we don't run as much. We run in the building. We do more sprinting in the winter time, and then we do the long distance running once the weather clears.
So explain to someone who may be a little afraid to come to your class and say they run a mile, because I mean a lot of people aren't running a mile when they come to your class, but I mean by the time, you know, a month in, they're catching up with everybody else.
Absolutely. What we do is we target all levels. So anyone can start in my class. And it's not essential that you run the mile. I think it's essential that you come in with the attitude that I want to get better.
Yeah.
So even if you're walking the mile, I think you'll start to see progress as you continue to come to the class over a period of time. That's when it comes to, you know, when you establish what your goals are and you say, this is what I really want to do. I can't say what your goals are. I think individually we pick our own goals, and I think what Adria said earlier about having a 6-month goal is great, because now you're looking down the road and then you start to say, you know what, I want to do something weekly. This is something that I can do. Maybe I started and I couldn't walk the whole mile the first week. And then the second week, maybe I walked a quarter of a mile. The next week, maybe I'll walk a half a mile. I think you start to look at it like that and build.
But how?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know, a lot of people will set those unrealistic goals.
Absolutely.
What do you hear?
Absolutely. I want to lose 100 pounds in 3 months. And then I say, well, I said, I can't do that for you.
Yeah.
I'm always honest with you. Someone's always going to come in with this goal. I want to lose 100 pounds in 3 months. And I said, I can't do it. You have to go pick another trainer.
Or you got to go have surgery
or you
of
have
some
to,
sort.
or
you know?
there are other options to
Right.
get you to lose weight in that time period that you're looking at.
But you have had a lot of people lose 100
Absolutely.
pounds.
I've had probably 4 to 5 people lose 100 pounds.
And they look good.
But how can you convince someone what their goals, a realistic goal? You know, because a lot of times that's the reason why people quit. Because their goals are just way too above, you know, achieving. I mean, maybe at some point down the line, but they set these short distances to lose a lot of weight. How can you persuade people to be a little bit more realistic?
Persuade them. I think some things,
goal?
one of the things that I will do with them, I'll ask them, how long have you been struggling with your weight issues?
Okay. Yeah.
And then they'll typically tell me a length of time. I said, it's probably going to take you about that length of time to get to the point where you want to be at.
Yeah.
That's realistic. If I gained 40 pounds over 2 years, I should probably look at about 1 year to 2 of hard work and dedication for me to get back to that point where I feel like this is the point where I want to be at.
Yeah.
Should people weigh every day?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think
I just want to see if it's working, like when I go to your class.
I think weighing every day, looking at your watch every time you work out, I don't know, because there's not going to be that much of a difference to where it's going to lead to you having this euphoric feeling.
Right.
You think that it's going to happen like that, but I think that harms you more than it helps, because if you work out for a week and you lose 2 pounds, is that significant? Is that significant in a person's mind who says, I want to lose 100 pounds?
No.
And they lose 2 in the first week.
Yeah, but if you lose 2 in the first week and you gain 3 in the next week and you're doing everything right, what's wrong? What's that?
A lot of it, I bet you would be cheating in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, I really think the most effective way, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I'm sure you probably do.
Could it be water weight?
Well, maybe, but the most effective thing to do is change your habits in the kitchen. Because that's really going to translate into seeing results.
Absolutely. I think you have to do both.
So what's a good, I'm not saying to detail a diet, but you know, we just did a story about which diets are good. Keto was not one of the best. What's another
But
one?
I do that. I do keto. I've been doing keto for like 6 months. Occasionally I will get off for like 3 or 4 days and allow myself to have like a cheat day to kind of
But it's really restrictive. What is one that people can follow that's realistic? Because everybody's not going to do no carbs.
Yeah, that is
That's
a little...
I'm not giving up bread. I'm sorry.
I think once you start to look at all the diets or the meal plans, they're pretty consistent.
Yeah, okay.
They're pretty consistent. They're going to say, you have to cut back on the carbs or get the complex carbs. A lot of times they'll say, get the complex carbs early in the day so you can use those as fuel throughout the day, and then you increase your protein. Though that's typically going to be the basis of your diets. Right. The keto's a little bit different, but those concepts are typically the same. What has to happen, I think what's important is that your intake.
Yeah.
Your intake, which it doesn't, your intake, how much are you intaking? And then versus how much are you working?
Right.
How much are you burning versus how much you intake? Can I spend more money than I have in the bank?
Right.
So what we're doing is we typically put more in than we burn. It's kind of different when we start to eat. We put a lot more in and then we put in 2,500 in a day, we burn 700, but we're saying I want to lose weight. It really doesn't, it usually doesn't work like that.
You don't really realize it until you like put the food in front of you. So, and you know, I'm eating salmon, but I'm eating two slices of salmon. And it's like, are you really doing any good for yourself? You know, I'm eating vegetables, but I'm getting 2 scoops of vegetables.
That's bad?
Well, you're still consuming, like you said,
you're consuming more than you're actually going to burn.
I thought you could do non-stop vegetables. Help me.
Well, you gotta know when to say no.
What vegetables?
If you buy that box of cookies and you eat, I'm gonna eat 4 cookies, you know, but I'm gonna run a mile.
Right.
Would you really run off 4 cookies?
No, absolutely not. If you run a mile, you're only going to burn 100 calories, unless you're probably.
Ooh, you got some work to do with me tonight. Woo.
I think you have to start to look at. I think when you're starting to whatever I'm going to eat, I have to look at what the serving size is, then compare that to what my goals are.
Yeah.
So I start to look at the serving size because it clearly details what the serving size are for that particular cookie, chips, whatever the meat is, whatever it is that you're going to consume. I want to look at how much is it. What am I, you know, if a typical chicken breast is 8 ounces, maybe I need to go to 4. If realistically,
like if you're out, is it the palm test a lot of times? How much you should, like the ounce?
The palm test.
I think that if you can hold it in the size of your hand, it's like what, 4 to 6.
4 to 6 ounces.
Okay.
And that's probably where you want to go.
Don't go picking up your meat off the, the plate. And
I'll tell you one thing that really works, though, Domonique. I'll tell you one thing that really works for you and your spouse or for you and your partner. To go out to one of the restaurants that you enjoy, get something off of the fit menu, and then I want you guys to eat that meal together. 1 meal. Try that.
1 meal for 2 people?
1 meal for 2 people.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's a hamburger or not, or you
off of the
fit menu.
Off of the fit menu. You know,
the healthy menu.
They bring all this bread.
They bring everything else.
You tell them, say, don't bring the bread.
Don't bring the bread. Don't bring
all the cheese.
Or the drinks.
Okay.
So you have to cut the drinks.
Okay. I don't really drink. No.
Water.
Okay.
You can't drink the dessert, and you can't have the appetizer.
Okay.
Only.
You know, we were talking about food, and I think this is interesting, and a lot of people don't realize is that when you go and you buy a salad or you eat a salad at some restaurants, it's almost just as bad.
Absolutely.
And you're thinking you're eating healthier.
Right.
But it's got a lot of calorie content with the additives in, with those like tortilla chips and the ranch dressing and this and that. It's not, right? Am I right?
Absolutely. Oh, wow. And the salad dressing itself. You have to be careful when you pick those also. And the serving size.
I know, it's almost like you can't go right.
I know.
You know?
If you want what you say you want.
That is true.
If you want, ideally I want to lose weight. Am I willing to sacrifice those things that it takes to lose the weight?
But if you really look at it, if you think about it, if you have a goal in mind, it's really common, a common thought process. If you have a goal in mind, if you give yourself 6 months and you reach that goal or what have you, as long as you don't overindulge, you can have a meal like that every once in a while.
I think you have to be realistic. I think if you cut everything
out,
that
derails me.
It sets you up for failure.
But you can. If you have to have, you've got to be smart, and you have to have a little bit of. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but.
I think you have to be realistic.
Yeah, and you have to be hard on yourself. Like you have to, keep yourself committed to what you want.
I think one of the ways that you can keep yourself committed, you establish this goal, which will be a long-term goal, but then have a daily thing, something that you do daily that you can check off, something that what I would call is a checklist to change. Okay, my goal is to lose 80 pounds, but Monday, I noticed that I ate a light salad, I ate salmon, I ate, and then you can start to check those things off, and then all those things are going to help you as far as reaching your ultimate goal, and it gives you some small success stories along your journey to success.
I got a message, and then a lot of people have been talking to me about having a baby and trying to work out after having kids. You've had to, I've had to, your wife has had to. Toya works out. She used to work. I'm sure she's still working out.
But she's.
So she used to work out in our class. She looks great. So what would you encourage mothers, even 1 year removed, that they're trying to lose the weight, but maybe they can't get to a class? How do they have success at losing weight?
One of the things, and I saw this firsthand, my wife totally changed what she eats.
Okay.
She eats smaller portions. She does some things totally different. She's done the intermittent fast, and she got on to me. We had that discussion last night about the intermittent fast, in which I'm going to require I'll encourage that the class start the intermittent fasting this week.
Okay. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that after. So my wife has totally changed how she eats, and that's been, I think, great as far as her actually losing weight and maintaining that size that she needs.
Your body totally
it does.
The body changes totally, and I think some people are unrealistic in thinking that my body is going to go back to that pre-baby weight, size, the tightness of my skin, flexibility. It usually doesn't happen like that.
Ever? Like I won't ever be pre-Chandler?
There are other options as far as if you want to go back to pre.
Yeah.
There are other options. I think because it's traumatic for the body to go through having a baby. And I think I learned that firsthand. I have a great respect for women who've had babies and how their body changes. But there's beauty in that body, even though it changes, because you can continue to work, you can continue to change. And I think you have to just be realistic in what we're trying to do.
Before I even had kids, and I watch people in your class that have had kids, and I've seen their bodies transform. Maybe not back to, but they still look great. They've lost all of the weight, and so it is definitely difficult. When I come back to your class, I don't think I will be the same Domonique I was 4 years ago when I came to your class. But I'm going to work hard though.
One of the things that's compromised when you have a baby is your core strength. And that's pretty much the foundation of the body as far as working out. You're using your core for any exercise, almost any exercise that you do. And that's one of the struggles after you have a baby is the core strength.
Okay, so your workouts are extreme.
I wouldn't extreme.
They're
intense.
Tough. Intense. They're tough.
Intense.
There are a lot of people out there who've never even picked up a barbell, even that want to make a difference in their life. They want to make a change. How do you find out what works, find out the right exercises because a lot of people will jump into it and then they're like, after the first workout, I'm not coming back. I'm done. How do you, what would you suggest someone do to find what works best for them?
One of the things I would suggest is that they visit several classes.
Okay.
I think you go around, this city's not a large city, and I think you go out and I think you do your research on the classes and you start to think about what's good for me. Can I handle the plyometrics, which is the jumping, or do I want to do something that's a little bit easier? Maybe I'll do a dance. And then I think you can even with my class, I think anyone at any level could start my class.
Okay.
It's all about your mindset. And if you're truly devoted as far as what you want to do. So one of the things that even after you start, you go and you do your visits, I think there has to be a level of consistency and dedication.
One thing I noticed about your class when I was taking it is make no mistake, if you're going to be easy and do the 5-pound barbell, after a while, Tarrant is watching everybody, and I would go and grab the 5-pound, move up to the 10-pound or the 15-pound. And that's what I like because I became comfortable with the 5-pound. And if I'm going to see more of a difference, I needed to increase, the pounds with my reps. And then I really noticed, like the next night or the 2 nights later that I was sore, but it was working, and then I started moving up to the next pound.
Now, some people think that you can't lose weight when you lift
I used to think that.
That's not true.
No, not at all.
That's not true at all. No.
You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to bulk up, I don't want to put on this weight and this and that. But it actually is more beneficial than some other
Absolutely. The strength training is more beneficial than cardio in a lot of ways, especially when you incorporate the intensity. You can take barbells, you could take dumbbells, you could take medicine balls, which are also strength training. Increase the intensity of those. It's going to give you the cardio component, but it's also going to help you with the part that we like the most, which is seeing that muscle, seeing that leanness, seeing that, you know, having our shoulders back. Those are the things that we really enjoy.
Wow. So are you still doing different? I mean, every time you go to TNT, there's a different workout, because we don't get. I never got bored in your class. So
Right.
Is it like every time? You know, I know Mondays. Well, guide me through this. Monday still legs?
Monday legs, a
Okay.
little bit of upper body and core. Tuesday shoulders, upper body, shoulder, chest, triceps, core. Wednesday back, biceps. Thursday a mixture, total body
Okay.
blast. Saturday total body blast. You know, and I hate to admit this, but I've never ever written one of my workouts down. I make them up
Just
as I
kinda
go.
comes as you.
But I studied. That's
Yeah.
the difference between me and maybe someone else is that by the time I come in there, I've already studied it. So it appears as if I'm making it up, but it's the time that I spent studying, the exercises, what I can do, how I can put these things together to hopefully provide a lot of diversity for my clients so they don't get bored with their
And
exercises.
it's beneficial to, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just do, you know, random this and that. But it's actually very beneficial to target specific.
Target, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you have to have a plan. I think you have to know which muscle groups work with which muscle groups. How can I do those to where I'm not too sore so I can come back the next day and work out. Like I said, we typically work out 5 times a week, my class. For a beginner, I don't know if that's probably the right, maybe 3 times a week.
But they can come 3 times
Absolutely.
a week. Okay.
You can come because the format of my class, the way it's set up is that you could come, you know, 3 times a week and still work all the body parts in those 3 days.
One question I did want to ask you is, I think this is something that a lot of people ask themselves because they think, oh, well, we'll just go do this because it burns the most calories. But what exercises burn the most fats?
Burpees.
Oh.
Burpees?
The ones that you probably
hated-
the hated. The burpee is a total body. It's a total body exercise. To me, the burp, because it's going to drive your heart rate up. You're still getting some of the strength training, and it all depends on how you do the burpees too. If you do, you know, what I call a total body burpee, where you go all the way down and you push yourself up, that's going to probably burn more calories than any other exercise that I know of.
Give me a mountain climber.
You got to push yourself off the ground and then you leap up. So you're getting the strength training, and then at the top you're getting what I call the plyometric.
Well, I'm going to be like a little kid. I'm going to go down and then put one leg up and another leg up and then jump.
You better stay on her. If she comes to your class, you better stay on her.
Give me a month and then I'll be hopefully back to the way. But really, I've been aiming to get back. You know, you have kids, life gets busy.
Yep.
I really thought I was going to be a mother that was pregnant and work out. And I was really sick. And so that's why I haven't, you know, been
hard.
there. Yeah, but I'm ready. No more kids for me. So I'm ready to get back at it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Knock on whatever this
Yeah,
is.
it's hard. I mean, that's one of the things I found most difficult after having kids, was because I was bound and determined I'm going to get back into the shape that I was before I had kids. And, you know, I think I started maybe after my second child, Gabby, a little too early.
Yeah.
Because I could feel myself like not feeling as great,
Yeah.
you know, after I got started. And I thought, I think I really needed to ease back. I'm not in a rush. Calm down. I think you have to listen to your body.
You have to listen to, I think the body tells you everything about, once you start to work out, your body talks to you. It tells you what you've eaten. It tells you if this exercise is too much for me. It tells you what you're drinking. It tells you, okay, I've lost a little bit, I can give a little bit more. It tells you I've gained more and maybe I need to work. It tells you everything. Once you start to work, you have to listen. Most times we don't listen to our bodies.
Yep.
I know there's sometimes whenever I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't. You know, it's tough. You go through it too. That body, man. Some of you just don't want to listen to it.
I'm listening. So,
Tarrant, it's been so great having you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, we want to recommend that you do a workout that is best suitable for yourself. We don't want you to do anything you don't think you can do. And if you have any questions about it, obviously consult your doctor as well. But we hope that you meet your goals for the new year and your weight loss.
all right.